This is pretty good. What's up, guys? Ronin man here. We're talking about cockroaches.
Yes, we are.
You know.
Yeah.
So you found a cockroach last night.
And I released it.
Move out of the way. Move out of the way.
Which is
So.
really.
Stop ready to
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I heard my cat wrestling a cockroach at 3 in the morning, and I go into the bathroom and she's wrestling the cockroach in my bathtub, and I put a mason jar over the cockroach, and I put the lid on really quickly, and then I started to feel bad. It was like suffocating, so then I released it in the street.
Yeah. You know, I had a toy business that was a combination of toy and pets, and then like I found out that some kids have cockroaches as pets. Yeah, because apparently they're pretty good pets because
I had a hamster.
Because the boys like to make them. They can fight each other because they're pretty tough,
Yeah.
right? So you can put them against each other,
Yeah.
like with little things on them, like little G.I. Joe shit, and then they can kind of, little tanks. They can go against each other, like see if who can push like sumo or something, right? Right. All right, so we're sitting here. It's a beautiful day in Manhattan. It's fucking, what is it, like 65 or what? How warm is it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Feels
humid,
great.
90% humidity. I
Dude,
know that.
Good outdoor t-shirt weather.
Coming from Asia, I don't even notice it. So there's no humidity.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, so we're here. There's 4 of us, and I got my buddy Jason here, and we're going to interview him talking about running a successful business. And I want to just say first that every business is different, and every business, they're so different. It's like the difference between a mountain and an ocean and the bottom of the sea and the space. But when you study one business, you do learn a lot, and it gives you ideas for the next business, or it gives you an understanding, gives you a better pair of glasses to see the world. And then that gives you a better glasses for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And eventually you have a pretty good understanding of a lot of things going on around you. Because everything's affected by business. Like all these buildings, they were all built because somebody raised money, and somebody built the building, right, a business, and then somebody moved in there. And so business is what makes kind of everything we see kind of happen somehow. So Jason, I interviewed you last, what was that, 2 months ago, a month ago?
Less than a month ago at my apartment in Philly, yeah.
Yeah, but it sucked because I didn't know what really made your business click. Like, talk a little bit about your business just in general so you get an introduction, who you are, what kind of business it is,
Well, just started a property management business about 20 years ago. Started just doing gutters and just grew it to do all home exterior stuff, capping, soffit. We do pressure washing.
What's that?
Capping, fascia, soffit, just home exterior installation stuff, just for the homeowners. We do residential and commercial for big property management companies, and I don't know, I just grew it into what it is today. Pretty good sized company. I got 4 employees, got an office now, and 4 trucks now, and things are good. I don't know. Got it to the point now where it runs itself. I have a manager that runs it. I can travel around the world. I go about 6-7 months out of the year. I'm overseas. I got a place in Thailand. I'm staying there sometimes. I got my apartment, and work remotely. And it's a couple hours a day, just taking care of things, overseeing it. And my manager, I got a really good manager that runs it, and pretty much,
I think that's the thing that's most interesting for a lot of people is it's one thing is how to start a business, but it's another thing. Can you spend half your time in Thailand, Mexico, Czechoslovakia, where have you been? Cuba? I mean, you've been to every country.
Yeah, 40 plus countries. Yeah.
The thing about Jason is, if you look at him, you might look at his traveling and another person traveling, kind of see the same thing. I travel so much that I know the difference. Jason goes to expensive countries. Like he goes wherever he fucking wants. Like some people, it looks like they're traveling, but they're just going to the cheapest places, right? Which is fine. There's a lot to see in every country, but it is a different person when you're able to go where you fucking want, right?
Yeah.
When you fucking want. Yeah, you have options like crazy, right? I think that's what people really want,
I also, when I travel, it's always good and key to meet people too, because I always wind up meeting people or whatever, if it's a new country, and getting in touch with the locals there and finding out things, and it actually makes the trip better and actually cheaper for you too, because you can find out things, and it's important to, I guess, socialize and meet new people when you're traveling as well too, which is
right. Like you mean like business owners? Are you talking about local
both
girlfriends
business owners,
or
locals, and just finding out what's going on in the city, and the good deals and stuff, where to go, and finding out what the locals know, so you don't have to do the touristy thing.
Right. Okay. So Ed's here. So Ed's got a lot of questions, and I wanted to say I talked to you for an hour in our first interview. The reason why I didn't post it is I was trying to unlock what it is about the major business successes. Let me say what I think it is, and then you can tell me if it was. Because the thing is, you were telling me hey, work hard, save money, do this, blah blah blah. It's all stuff that everybody tries to do.
Right.
But then 9 out of 10 businesses fail. And failure means bad things. It means no one believes in you, your wife leaves, you lose your kids. I mean, failure, people talk about it like it's just a word, right? It's a serious thing. People lose trust in you, people that you borrowed money from, if you borrowed money.
Yeah.
Failure is fucking serious thing, That's why people don't start businesses. Because they realize it's so serious, right? So the thing is, I want to give people what I think was the key thing, the difference in your business. And what I think I saw was you were doing good. You started a business that was making money, like a blue collar business, basically.
Right.
A business that's not the most. It's not owning this boat here on the dock, right? It's a business that it's more of a money business, cash business, but it's not as glamorous, right? So that's a big advantage right there. One of my business teachers told me, sell toilets. Don't be a movie star. That you're always better off if you want to start a business. Something that everybody does, every kid doesn't want to be. Because I had a girlfriend, she used to interview Brad Pitt and stuff. She interviewed Brad Pitt. She interviewed a lot of people like that. And they would hardly pay her because every girl wants to do that for free. So it's impossible to get paid because back then when Brad Pitt was super popular, who doesn't want to interview Brad Pitt? Who doesn't want to hang out with Bill Murray? Who doesn't want to meet George Clooney, right? Who doesn't want to, these kind of guys. Every girl's I'd love to interview him, sure, right? So, $25, sure, no expenses, right? So you got to think of a business too that is something that can make some fucking money, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is you're in Philly, right? That's a good thing too because it's not New York, right? A lot of people I know, one of my most successful friends, he started in Nagoya, which is basically a a podunk town in Japan, and then he went to Tokyo, and then guys in Tokyo didn't take him seriously because he was a Nagoya guy, and nobody took Nagoya seriously, and then he comes out of nowhere and fucking just kicks ass and goes public in Tokyo, and he becomes a gazillionaire. It's because nobody, he was building his business quietly in a place that wasn't as on the radar, and then once he had it big enough, then he went global and he ended up going to China and being public in New York and all that. He's got 2 public companies. So, but it started with him building his base, right, in a place where he wasn't so much wasn't as competitive and wasn't he wasn't getting attacked all the time by the smartest guys, right? While he's building his power, right? So that's another thing I think you did right. But I think the main thing is you bought that other business.
Right.
And I'll tell you,
I bought out another company, yes, another gutter company.
Right. And I know a lot of people who own businesses and nobody does this. Swear to God. Mergers and acquisitions, you talk Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Regular guys don't do this. Usually because they're too insecure, they won't let go of control, they're not smart enough. And you were fucking very, very fucking smart. Because what did you get for that? What did you get from that business?
Well,
tell me about that merger.
I bought, somebody came up to me and I guess he found me on my website, whatever. He must have called a few different gutter companies. He came to me with an offering. He wanted to sell his customer base to me, his phone number and his customer base. And this guy had a very unique customer base, all super wealthy homes in the main line, which is the wealthy area in the Philadelphia area, which are all multi-million-dollar homes. And he had, I don't know, maybe 150 of really good customers that he did repeat business with, and he would make X amount of dollars a year just off these customers, probably 6 figures, whatever it was. It was a good amount of money. It was a lot. And it was a repeat business that his customers were loyal to him. And long story short, I bought the company from him.
Well, why would he sell it? Why would he?
Oh, so
how did it look?
Because he was getting older and he was injured. He was hands-on. He wanted to do the work himself, and he was injured. He couldn't do it anymore. He physically couldn't do it anymore, so he just wanted to sell the business. And I wound up buying the business from him, and I made the money back within 1 season, which is about 4 months.
Holy
And then after that,
shit.
it was all gravy after that. Yeah.
Okay, now let me.
From him, yeah, because he didn't know how to manipulate it the way that I did. His business sense was that he had to be on every single job and oversee it, and I just did it. I had a different approach to it. I oversaw it, and I mean, I was on it the first season. I was made sure everything went correctly, of course, but I also took over his manager and one of his main workers. He started work for me too, so he knew all the customers and as well too.
But that wasn't like in the deal. That came later.
No,
right?
that came later.
So you kind of like did it very sneaky. You bought the list,
Kind of, yeah.
and then you ended up getting his best workers.
Correct.
Which was
Yeah.
fine because he was getting out of the business anyway.
Right. So they wanted to still work anyway, so it was a win-win. Yes.
But if he would have known what he had, he could have like he
If
didn't.
he would have done what I did, he'd still be making a ton of money right now and sitting at home and on the computer and not having to worry about any injuries that he had or whatever. Yeah, still making money. Yeah.
So he couldn't see the value, and he tried to sell his customer list.
Yeah.
And then you ended up
He
buying
didn't know,
this
he didn't
whole
know the
company
real value of it.
for the
Correct.
price of a list.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you got the manager. How did the manager come along? How did that go? Like you bought the list.
Well, I think he
You know.
mentioned his manager, the name and everything. He gave me the information, but because I mean he would have been out of work, so I definitely, of course, I called him and wound up using him as my main crew member to run the crew.
So he was better than the guys you had.
Yes, yeah, he was good.
Why was he
Because
better?
I mean, the way that he did run the company, I will give him a lot of credit. I mean, he really was hands-on, and he really was detailed in the work and the organization of the business. So he really had a good system down, and I pretty much used his system and built off that.
Wow. So he had the system.
He had a good system, yeah.
Wow. So you had a system already, but he had a better system.
I don't know about better, but different, yeah.
But you had a way to like do the jobs without always being there. So you had that advantage.
Yeah.
What was his system? Was like a
He was,
track
I
of-
think, a little more organized than I was. So,
Like product-
yes, hiring this manager helped me out because he was as well organized and they had a better system down. Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah.
project management software, or what was he doing?
Just that stuff too, but more just the way they approached the jobs and how they did the jobs, how they got it done, the work done. Yeah.
How he got people there.
How they, I guess, just how they
Q&A.
details on the cleanings and the customers and stuff like that, meeting the customers and whatnot.
How long had he been doing it? Was he longer than you? Was he more
I am not
experienced?
sure, but I'd say over 15 years or so, 20 years. He was older. He's older than me. He's probably in his 50s now, late 50s. I don't know, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you look back, like how could you have blown it with him? Because I know that when younger guys take over companies, a lot of older guys have tough time working with them. You know, they can't. There's always that age thing is a difficult thing for some people. It's never been for me, but I know a lot of guys. It's very difficult to work under a younger boss.
Yeah.
Right. I've worked under younger bosses like no problem.
Yeah, my manager's, I'd say, 10 years older than me. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I pay him well, so he's happy. Yeah.
But what do you think it was about you that made him comfortable working for you? Because money doesn't really motivate people that much. In my
I don't know. I guess
experience.
it's kind of rare. And he's just, I guess, a good guy, and he just saw the value, and he didn't probably look at it that way. But yeah, I can see what you mean by that. But yeah, he kind of didn't bother him.
But I'm saying is he probably liked you, or he probably saw that you could make the company bigger than your
Yeah,
old
well,
boss.
I treated him well, so yeah.
And you
I mean,
treat yeah. But why wouldn't he go on his own? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, good question. Because a lot of workers eventually do that. I don't know. Some people are just lazy, or they just don't have the drive or in them to do it on their own. I think. Yeah.
Right. Some people are not business owners.
Right. Correct. They just rather happy, just doing it, clocking out, going home, and that's it.
Right.
As
right.
an owner, it's more of a headache. You got to worry about these things all the time. Yeah, the business. Yeah. When you're a worker, you clock in, you clock out, your day's over.
Right.
So people like that. Yeah.
That's exactly what my friend I was talking about in the beginning, the guy who went public twice.
Yeah.
Once in Japan, once in New York, with a Chinese company, the one in New York. He told me the exact same thing because I said, "What's the secret?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, the secret is he got a good. Well, he didn't call him a project manager. What did he call him? He called him. I forgot what he called him. Like executioner. Like he was the guy who would come up with the business, come up with the money, bring in the investors, and then that guy would get it done. He would get it done. So what my friend does is TV shopping. So he would buy the TV time. He would negotiate for it. Middle of the night, 3 in the morning. He'd get a block of time. He'd get a bunch of stuff he wants to sell. He'd get some good-looking chick, some good-looking guy, get a nice camera, and then they would sell some shit on TV, record it, put it on 3 in the morning, and then they'd make a profit. And then they would do another one, and they'd do another one, and they'd buy more time. And they made so much money, they ended up like basically owning all the nighttime in Nagoya, and then eventually owning all of it in Tokyo, and then eventually getting daytime, all the housewives in Japan. Like there's a lot of, once a woman gets married, like basically it's unheard of to work. So everybody's at home. So they're at home, and usually they tend to be more affluent, so there's more money, so they buy on TV shopping. And so there's a lot of business in TV shopping in Japan, where you wouldn't think of it here, but in Japan it's like serious business. Like real money changes hands. Like plus, you know, guys get drunk and they spend $1,000 on TV shopping in Japan. It's kind of a funny thing. Yeah, it's different than here, where everything's Amazon, right? It's changing so slowly, but my friend was there at the right time. But he said exactly what you said, right? So now I'm gonna ask you a tough question. Okay, so you did one smart move.
Yeah.
Elon Musk did one smart move, right? But that was a long time ago. Then he did another one. What could you do now that would be your next smart move like that?
Franchising it and then leaving, getting out of here.
Franchise?
Yeah.
Do you want a
I think
franchise?
that's what you were talking about.
That's right.
I've talked about it with my friend in California. Yeah. I mean, I have my competitors have done it. The Gutter guys, another competitor, they've done franchising, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I'm not sure if I really want to go that route, but it's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
Did you have it in your mind to be a little bit hands off from the very get-go, or?
No, that was probably after 10 years when I established a business, then I could become hands-off. It took a while. I'd say a good 7 to 10 years before I established it where I can have a manager that I can trust run it, where I could be out of the country for 6 months. Yeah, it took a while.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's my goal. And so much of what you're saying right now is just resonating with me. And so, number one, thank you for even being here. This is amazing.
Talk about what resonated exactly.
Well, first off, I'm coming from the startup world, web design, app design, and then suddenly I found myself running a cash business, and a very blue collar.
Yeah.
We do door sales, door installations, locks, everything that has to do with locksmithing. I want to break out into IT, but I just see the fact that very often in this city nobody knows who to call when something needs to get done.
Like a handyman service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I joined this business that has been running for about 35 years, but I joined and I realized that they have nothing lined up for the future. No social media, no Google Maps listing, nothing like that. 0 reviews online, and so I come in and I'm trying to optimize the thing, but I got to tell you, from day one, I'm already thinking, how can it run without me here? Because,
like a handyman service in Manhattan.
Yeah, everything.
Which I actually was going to do, and I was looking at that actually in Thailand, and I looked into it, and a friend of mine who's a lawyer, he has a client that does that who wound up making a lot of money doing that. I mean, first of all, it's really tough to do business in foreign.
We did handyman. One of our businesses in China was handyman stuff. Yeah, we did all kinds of stuff. Property management, all kinds of.
But a lot better to do it here in the U.S. So for sure.
Well, you know, you can fucking. The thing is it depends on where you want to live, and depends on what you want out of life. Like, I am very happy making less money being where I want.
Sure, of course.
Rather than making a ton of money being somewhere I don't want to be. You know, so like if I just make a good living and I'm able to go to say 30 countries and live in each one.
Moved to New York.
You know, especially when I was younger.
Right.
That's why she moved to New York, because she likes it better here.
Right. Yeah. So. Okay, I want to ask you. This is another tough question. Okay, so you guys listening, you're like, get a mic closer. You guys listening, you're like, oh yeah, this is easy, right? I heard this stuff before. I will tell you one thing. It is very difficult to see in advance what he's talking about. What I mean by that. So a friend of mine came to me one day, my friend Higuchi, right? He said, we were just sitting there, we're fucking around, and he goes, he's like, he doesn't speak English, but anyway, we were speaking Japanese, but he goes, hey Paul, you want to go to San Francisco? I'm like, San Francisco? I'm like, why? He's like, oh, my friend has a noodle restaurant near the airport. He goes, his wife is sick, he's gonna leave. He goes, you can take it over, and he wants you to buy it for I forgot how much, but he goes, you can get it for no money down, and then you just basically pay him off over a year. The business is very profitable.
Yeah.
He goes, he buys stuff for 10 cents, sells it for $1.
Yeah.
Because that's the noodle business. So, and I was just sitting there, like I had tons of girlfriends, I was fucking having fun, I had a business, there's no way I wanted to leave, right? But I couldn't see, he was handing me one of these once in a lifetime opportunities.
And how's it doing now?
Well, what happened was I didn't take it, but some other guy did. And within 1 year, he owned the business and made $1 million profit off that fucking restaurant.
Some other guy.
Some other guy, and it was offered to me for free.
Yeah.
All I had to do was fly over there,
In San Francisco.
live near the airport in San Francisco, run this noodle business, you know, sleep with the waitresses, whatever I want to do, have fun, enjoy my life, and make money, right? And I'm just like, I didn't even fucking think of it. And like, I was so stupid, like basically, so part of business is you have to kind of get over when you really blow it. Because that was so stupid. It was handed to me on the But I think a lot of guys are like me. You can't see it at the moment. You know, especially for me, if I got girls around, fucking girls motivate me. Like I don't want to go away from them. You know what I mean? Like I get, you know, I like, it's I'm never like, oh yeah, I'll make money over girls and friends. No way, right? I want to have fun. I want to be with my friends. Girls travel. That's always like more attractive to me. You know, it is. So, but looking back, I could have had both. I could have gone to San Francisco, had new friends, you know, came back to America, had a noodle business, right?
I 100% went through that.
So like what I'm saying is when he saw his business, when he saw the chance to buy that business, it probably didn't look like what it was now.
Exactly.
What we're talking about,
call you, right?
it did not, there was no blinking sign, there's no fucking neon sign that said, Jason, you're gonna make shit ton of money if you buy this list.
Right.
If he was busy, he was taking a shit.
He had a good situation.
He had to clean his apartment. His mom was calling. You know what I mean? He had to get a new pair of shoes. He had to pay an electric bill. And then he gets this call that this guy wants to sell a list. His first thought's probably like, you will get when the guy called you for the list, right? It's easy just to blow him off like, yeah, the guy's trying to rip me off, or you know, the clients will never go with me. Why should I pay for a list? You know, did you have those kind of thoughts when you first?
I did, because mostly over the money. I was 30. I think he was asking at the beginning like 50,000. I wound up getting him down, but like I said, I did make the money back in one season, about 4 months. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of money. You know, am I going to make it back? But sure, of course, I had those thoughts. But I'm glad that I did it though. Yeah.
But see, that right there is the difference between you and other people.
Yeah, you just don't take the risk. I mean, you need to take a risk, of course. Yeah, to be able to.
$50,000 for a list of names.
Yeah.
Is a shit ton of money. And when people hear these kind of things,
it comes down to the trust. I had to trust the guy that he really had all these customers. I did do my due diligence. I looked into it. I did a little research and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, it could be, you never know what could happen. Yeah, but it worked out.
This is what separates a successful person and a failure.
Taking risks. Yes, you need to take risks, of course. That's a big factor. Risk.
But taking risks is one thing. But paying $50,000 or close to that for a list of names.
Taking calculated risk. You need to take calculated risk. Yeah.
That doesn't say risk. Like all it says is money for list.
Yeah.
I got shit to do. I need a car. My girlfriend wants that. You know, I want to do this, get a new bathroom, whatever. And then like you're like a list. You know, because I've never bought a list.
Yeah.
You bought a fucking list.
Yeah, a little more than just a list. I mean, I got the names, the customers, the addresses. I mean, he showed me some, you know, his.
Yeah, but they might not have used you.
He showed me the money. Yeah, you're right.
They might have said, hey,
yeah. What's that? What?
You know, like I know you bought this list, but like I don't know you. I don't trust you.
You're right. Right. That's what I needed to trust. Right. Yeah. And I did the first year. I think maybe 90% of the list I used. I got all their business, maybe even more than that. And then, yeah, throughout the years, the list decreased. But then I was getting all new jobs from referrals and his customers and stuff. So yeah, it wound up definitely beneficial.
Because I had a list before when I left Japan.
Yeah.
My head ending company. Yeah. I was making very good money at that company. So, but I wanted to move to China, so I took I had physical boxes of paper, right? I took them all to China. I shipped them all to China. And air shipping was costing me a fortune. But anyway, okay. Once they got there, I didn't want to do headhunting, so I tried to sell them to someone, and nobody would fucking buy them. And these things were gold, right? I mean, I could have shown the guy how to make like right off the bat $30,000 a month at least. you know, $30,000 to $100,000 you can make off that list. Because it's just, I had everything there. I had all the guys' names, I had all the clients, I had the relationships. I was totally giving it away. I wasn't going to do it anymore, and it was all real. But the thing is like no one bought it. I ended up throwing it away. I left it in the apartment when I abandoned the apartment. Yeah, I just left it. I told the landlord. She said, "What's this?" I said, "Just throw it away."
It's a pile of money nobody wants. Is what it is.
Yeah, so I tried to sell this, and it was a good list.
I'll say one more thing.
There was no Jasons around.
One more thing regarding like the business. I remember there was a business, another gutter company that went out of business, and it's somebody who I used to deal with, you know, owning a gutter company, and he also owned a gutter company. I would buy materials from him sometime. Anyway, he also got sick too, and he wound up. The company went bankrupt, or something happened. He just stopped the company. But this was when the Yellow Pages were around, and what I did was after like the business went bankrupt, done. But he had this business for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. He had an incredible clientele list. So what I did after, I think with like the phone companies, after a certain amount of time, like 3 months or something, you could take over their phone number. So I called the phone company, I got his phone number, and so now all his customers were calling me on the phone number.
Wow.
So
I
made
I'm gonna write that
I made
down.
probably about
No way!
I made very good money off that phone number.
No way!
Yeah.
No way! Oh God! You know what? Interesting. Somebody that we know. I'm not going to say his name, but he bought a domain, and then and then he hooked it up to Google Apps.
I think I might know who you're talking about.
And yeah, you might know this guy. And just by chance. And what happened was when you buy the domain and you get the Google Apps set up, if the other guy had Google Apps attached to his thing before, all the clients email and it goes to your account.
Wow.
And he
That's
got
the tech version of kind of
he
what
got
I
a
did.
ton of business from somebody who let it go, but it was a very real business.
I was getting I was getting like 10 plus calls a day from that phone number, all like real customers that wanted.
That's the same with this guy. Yeah. Wow, fucking.
I know what I'm gonna do next week.
We got some good. This is real shit, guys. So I appreciate you guys listening. Anybody want to add anything, Ed?
No.
No, we can.
Yeah.
It's great.
Wrap it up.
All right, we'll just leave it at that. Hope that was useful, and let me know. All right, guys. Signing off from New York. We're looking at Jersey there. It's pretty darn warm. It looks cold, but it's actually super warm. Oh yeah. With a t-shirt, it's a little cold, but not bad. It's not the regular New York. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.